Hey everybody, Titanovix Deck Tech here, and today I'm just gonna go over, just recapping like kind of my last visit to the LGS. I think I got a pretty good compliment actually. We were playing, we started a 5-man pod up, and this deck just it ripped through everybody. It really did. I took out everybody, one by one basically, with this deck, and it was kind of a sight to see. And then once the game was over, it was people were like, "Oh, I think I can need to pull out something a little more powerful here, and play that instead." So yeah, this is my Aragorn deck. So let's just kind of pull Aragorn out real quick here, and yeah, it just was rocking, man. This. I had all like the really nice pieces, and I basically just commander damaged everybody. So if you're unfamiliar with this particular card here, Aragorn the Uniter is a 4-color commander, red, green, white, blue, one of each mana source. It's a human noble. Upon casting a white spell, you create a 1/1 human soldier creature token. Whenever you cast a blue spell, you scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, Aragorn the Uniter deals 3 damage to target opponent. And whenever you cast a green spell, target creature you control gets 4/4 till end of turn. I'd say that's pretty much the key text there, is that 4/4, the green spell. So how we get into this, we're just kind of look through some of the card choices. You can kind of see like the power level of the deck. Apparently it's pretty high. From my experience, this deck has always been pretty solid. So, but the fact that I did this particular showing, I really just took everybody out. I had all the answers for a 5-player game, so it was really something. So, just some of the cards here. Some of the basically have the tutors here, just some multicolored tutors in the Eldamri's Call. And we're just going to kind of roll through here. I'll go through some of the key cards, which I think really led to my success in that particular game. I'm just going to keep rolling through here. I love Escape to the Wilds. It worked very well with the Rishkar's expertise. What ended up happening is I had a spark double on the table with Aragorn, and basically I was able to draw 13 cards with the Rishkar's expertise for 6 mana, and then cast the Escape to the Wilds, which just kept giving me more and more triggers for Aragorn. And it was just very strong sequence. So I love this card. This is probably like one of my favorite blue cards, and it's just so fantastic with a very strong commander on board, because you're not really afraid of your commander not being able to stick on the board. If you have a March in your hand and you have another blue card in your hand, it's kind of like a force of will, where if someone decides to like play a blasphemous act, you can just pitch your like Seagate Restoration or any other blue card, and then preserve your board. So it's just an all-star in this deck. So I love Expressive Iteration too, just along with Growth Spiral. These 3 are just fantastic, actually. The Expressive Iteration, just getting a land if you need it, and then another spell to hand is very nice. 4th Eralingus, this is good. I played it on 0. It's fantastic. I created a token. I got the Monarch. I drew a card at the end of turn. It was perfect. It was great. Growth Spiral, of course, is just accelerates you, bits you to put a land onto the battlefield and drawing a card. It's very nice. Spark Double here. This was definitely a key card. And being able to copy Aragorn is pretty fantastic, and just leads to a lot more triggers for you, a lot more pumping for the actual Aragorn, so that you can get that commander damage through and take the game. Just some nice adventure cards I have in here, like a Brazen Borrow, Bone Crusher, just some like additional value. Soul Ring here. This is just obviously a very strong card. Fable, Xenagos. This was the card that really pushed the game over the top. Once I had this on board, that's when people were getting KO'd. Basically, I was pumping up Aragorn, pumping upon its cast, the Xenagos itself, and then if Aragorn was, for instance, like a 13/13 at the time, then this was just buffing an additional 13 damage and getting it over that commander damage threshold. So Xenocos, just fantastic. Embercleave was also a nice finisher. I just happened to like have in this particular pod both of my super duper win cons lined up, the Xenagos and the Embercleave, and just finished the games. Excuse me. But yeah, just kind of looking through the deck, we have some nice synergy here. The Bard class here is very nice. Lots of legendaries in this particular deck. Lots of legendaries. So that's just a nice feature. Like if we have a Bard class on the field and we level it up, Rocco only costs 1 plains. Similarly, Jetmir would only cost a plains and a colorless. So Bard classes is super strong. So we have a nice amount of legends in here. There's Omnath. We have some really fun tech cards like Mercurial Spelldancer to copy instants and sorceries. This is one of my favorite is Vesuvian Diplomancy, because we do play a lot of single targeting spells in here. And if we just target something like, say for instance, our Aragorn, we can have another Aragorn. So it's just a nice, like for instance, Temur Charm is just one of those really cool interactions. Was if you have a Vesuvian Diplomancy on the field, you can buff up your Aragorn and have it fight another creature. And you have all these other modes too, which makes it so it's very versatile. So I love the Temur Charm here. And anything with green in it is very important for Aragorn because of the buff. So just keep that in mind. Err on the side of green when you're when you're playing with Aragorn. Of course, there's very, very useful cards in blue, white, and red. But green is also very important. So here's some more legends. There's another legend like Ragavan. So Ragavan would be 0 cost with a stage 2 Bard class, which is kind of fun. Nissa, because we have Landfall, Nanaya Charm. I'd say the Temur and Nanaya Charm are fantastic for here. Enlightened Tutor. So we have some of our combo pieces. We have the Mystical Tutor, the Enlightened Tutor, Prismari Command, Decisive Denial. Dragon Rage Channeler just to kind of surveil, and because we play a lot of non-creature spells, it's just a nice solid 1-drop. Metamorphs, Bloom Tender, Lotus Cobra, Time War, Broker's Charm, just like another charm that targets if we needed to, if we have like a Vesuvian Diplomancy out in the battlefield. Gold Spent Dragon, just this crazy good 5-drop. And the Arcane Signet. So that's it. So that's the Aragorn deck. That was really fun. Like I said, I do like playing like, I like when people would say something like, we need to like get a more powerful deck, because I don't really build decks to like, to really abuse like, some of the cards I've seen. Like Jeweled Lotus is like not something I picked up in a draft. I actually opened one in a draft pack. I never put one in the deck before. So I don't really access those cards like, Chrome Mox and some of those other Mana Vault. Like there's even some like lands like, what is it, the Tomb, that also creates like double mana. I've never had any of those cards in my deck. So basically I'm just kind of just wheeling and dealing. Play on Arena sometimes on Historic Brawl, and then I get some help from the Discord, the CGB Discord, and then go to the LGS and kind of battle it out. So that was fun. This was on the same night. The Thalia and Get Rock Monster deck just absolutely destroyed everybody too. That one when we turned into a 4-man pod for that game, and it was just so strong. Like these green decks are just so very strong. This is basically a Lord of the Rings deck. To be honest. So all my cards here, this is a landfall synergy. I have some very nice landfall and double landfall kind of enablers here. I have some very nice white staples. Just some very nice cards here. You can just see the landfall is very nice in Abzan. Very strong, very powerful creatures, good finishers. Here's the ring tempts you. So you can see I have all the cool ring tempts you cards. Frodo's in here, Schmeagol. Here's a nice, cool little fun tech card for Thalia, Roar the Challenge. It gives her indestructible and makes blockable creatures that can block particular creature block at that turn. So the Death Touch first strike just takes out 4 creatures if her power is 4 or more. If more creatures block, if her power is greater. We got the Spring Bloom Druid for Thalia. I'd say definitely one of the points of emphasis is to get cards into your graveyard, especially to get your lands into your graveyard, because you can access those lands again with cards like Crucible of Worlds and the Runamap Excavator. Those are kind of key cards for you to kind of enable Thalia further. So yeah, we're playing the full 9 Nazgul in here. Have some nice synergy with Red and Realmbreaker. Collar Ring, so good here. We have some dredge cards like Dark Dakmor Salvage, which is a land. The Gitrog Monster, here's all the other Nazgul, which is nice. The Breach the Multiverse. Frodo, Sauron's Bane. This is just a fun one. We'll see how it goes. If I could actually get a kill off of it, that'd be nice. We do play like Swift Foot Boots and Lightning Greaves, so maybe one of these days we'll get the ring up to the 4 and one-shot somebody with it. That'd be kind of fun. Rishkar's Expertise, Entis Restoration. Of course, yeah, just some of the green staples. Bolas Citadel's a nice inclusion here because it lets us play lands off the top of our deck for Thalia, and then we can play more cards for by paying our life total. So that's nice. Tons of Nazgul in this deck. Lots of lands. Lots of nice kind of ramp enablers in green, of course. So yeah, that is the particular deck there. I just wanted to make sure that I have the Runamap Excavator in here because that's kind of an important card for me, and I want to make sure that I've included it. I didn't see it on the maybe perhaps I missed it through. I just want to make sure. It is possible that I still haven't put. Oh, there it is. The Runamap Excavator. So, yeah, when you may play lands cards from your graveyard. Fantastic. Boom. Orcish Bowmasters. My God, these decks, man, they get kind of out of control. The power and the price tag. It's just kind of a something. It really is a something game, isn't it? So, other than that, I think the only thing else I wanted to show you was the next deck I was working on. And this is going to be a Bragooo deck. Yeah. I hate when the sleeves get kind of crimpled like that, but they do give you some extras in these dragon sleeve cases. So this one is the one I'm building now, Bragooo the King Eternal, and he's a blinking commander. So when he deals damage to an opponent, you can exile any number of target non-land permanents you control, and then return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. What a wild, wacky dude. So yeah, I mean, compare this to like Yorion, which is a 5 mana, 4/5 flyer. That's 5 mana, and when it comes down, it just blinks any number of permanents that you have. Whereas this one is the 4 mana version. It still flies, and it can provide like continuous blinking as long as you're connecting with it. And it does have flying, so you know you're going to have something to swing on usually. So for this particular deck, what I'm going to focus on is the kind of like 2 mana artifacts. It's going to be like kind of like an Azorius artifact build. So I'm going to definitely focus on like those 2 mana artifacts that like draw cards when they come onto the battlefield to kind of give you that immediate value, and then blinking those back and forth kind of will be the pull of that. This is like a kind of a blinking staple, Dance of the Many. I believe the verbiage on this one is that it copies a creature on the battlefield, any creature. The downside, of course, is that you have to pay a cumulative upkeep of 2 blue to retain it. Kind of an interesting card nonetheless, which is kind of nice because you get the ETB too if you do copy a nice creature with an ETB. So that's kind of fun. Omen of the Sea. This is just another one of those very cool flash Azorius cards where you maybe can hold up like counter spells or any other type of interaction, and then if nothing happens, you can just go ahead and play this, flash it in, scry and draw a card. And then of course the blinking effect is very nice. Omen of the Sun, this is just like Ragavan protection. Like if a Ragavan swings on you, you can just like flash this in and maybe get a block on. So that's kind of nice. Copy Enchantment. This is kind of a card I picked up at the store the other day. The Copy Artifact card is like $45, and that's like kind of a little bit out of my wheelhouse. This is actually was just reprinted too in the Eldraine bonus sheet, so it's like $1, and it's pretty solid. Like you just have it come down and copy an enchantment. We have a good amount of enchantments, I think, to copy. Maybe like of course a copy artifact would be ideal, but I'll try out copy enchantment. Yeah, why not? Let's give it a go. And if you can re-blink it back and forth, then that's nice too. Elspeth Conqueror's Death. This is just a very nice blinkable enchantment. The fact that it exiles things, it can tax our opponents. It does those things, which is just all very nice. Swords of Plowshares, just a nice removal spell. Nothing really too much to comment about that. Reprieve, this is basically a return a spell to its owner's hand and draw a card, which is very nice. Cyclonic Rift is just a very strong card. If you overload it, you can definitely stabilize. Delay, this is just a nice kind of way to delay a certain spell for more than 3 turns. So I like that. Rather than like a memory lapse that just returns to the top of the library, the opponent gets it back the next turn, that can kind of backfire on you. So I'd rather play like a more conditional counter. Delay is fine. Counter spell. And I might even, the Azorius mana base hasn't been so bad, and I thought that maybe I'd have to run like maybe less double blue counter spells. That this deck will probably maybe just like kind of evolve into maybe playing the double blue counter spells, like maybe even mana drain. Just depending on like how I feel the deck is performing. I think it should be fine with just delay, but we'll see. I mean, I'm really very fond of the 2 mana counter spells though, and that's why I really like Disruption Protocol here, because I can tap an artifact, an untapped artifact, and it basically acts as a counter spell, so that's nice. The Disruption Protocol. War of the Last Alliance. This is just kind of another interesting blinking card. I think I will keep this in. Yeah, I think I like the fact that you could like re-blink and keep tutoring for legendaries. That's kind of nice. Gandalf the White. This guy in Sheoldred, the Mother of Machines, will be good at doubling our ETBs. Gandalf doubles artifact ETBs and legendary spell ETBs, so that's nice. Here's Yorion. Yorion is funny with like Elish Norn because for instance like a Gandalf, because he'll blink twice, but like you won't have anything else to blink. You can like blink things in succession. It's just kind of strange, but yeah. Thraben Inspector, but the succession is like you basically just have already blinked everything out. So when it prompts you on the stack to blink again, all your stuff has already been blinked. So just a little FYI. Thraben Inspector kind of works in with our artifact theme, and it's very blinkable for its when it enters the battlefield. Investigate, just a nice 1-drop. An artifact creature here at the 1 spot. Skrelv. We need to pick up definitely need to pick up the freaking what's his name? That the cheating 1-drop that draws like a million cards. Anyways, yeah, it's like it is an artifact creature. I do know that, and it looks like a soldier of some sort. That guy, yeah. I need to pick that guy up too. Loyal Warhound, this is just going to be a fun thing to blink to. We're sure we're going to be playing up against opponents that can have more lands than us, so a Loyal Warhound will help us get kind of equalized. Ambitious Farmhand will these all have enter the battlefield triggers. Spirited Companion, these are all just very nice 2-drops. Ingenious Smith, that works in with our artifacts. Oswald Fiddlebender will help us sacrifice artifacts to get down the line to more powerful ones. Spellseeker will help us look for our counter spells or anything else, any other instant that has a mana value 2 or less, for instance, like a Cyclonic Rift. Emery, the Lurker of the Lock, just has very nice artifact synergy. Inspiring Overseer, I believe I'm going to be kind of swapping these ones out in favor of cards that tutor, like the 3-mana tutor, like Trinket Mage. Those will probably be better choices for this particular deck. I like the draw, but playing a Tribute Mage or a Trinket Mage, that seems like a better outcome for us than an Inspiring Overseer. Glasspool Mimic, just a nice copy, could also serve as a land. It's kind of like an auto-include. Solemn Simulacrum for nice ETB effects. Dot Monitor, very nice with our artifacts. And here's the Jeweled Lotus. So this is the one I pulled in the draft pack from the new Commander Masters. I pulled this and an Avacyn in the same pack. It was insane, in a draft booster pack. So it's going in. I mean, it's basically like a turn 1 Bragooo. So yeah, maybe this will be my strongest deck with these stupid artifacts in it. So here's Mox Amber, just another solid artifact. Good works good with our legendaries. Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, just a nice form of ramp for the blue-white. Glass Casket, Dot Vessel, Lightning Greaves, these are just kind of to get Bragooo going. Prophetic Prism, I like this because it fixes the mana and it draws a card. Felwar Stone, Lemboss Spread, this is just another sweet 2-mana artifact that scries and draws cards. Let's see, I have Mind Stone in here as well. I think that is fine. Felwar Stone, I think I have the Signet in here somewhere. Have I added Signet yet? I think I have. I'll have to, yeah, there's the Arcane Signet. I was just kind of curious if I had Felwar Stone good. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be sufficient. I might have, I might have changed out the Mind Stone, but I'll have to look. I don't know if I have too many options beyond that, but here's a Restoration of the Ganjo. This fetches the plains, and it also helps you loot and then put out things for free that are 2 or less that you've looted. Archaeomancer's Map, I didn't even know this was an artifact. I thought it was an enchantment, but it's an artifact. It gets us 2 plains, and whenever a player puts a land and they have more lands than us, we can put a land on the battlefield immediately into play. Midnight Clock, this is a very strong kind of mana rock that just works well in Commander. The counters move up very quickly, and then we can cash in on it and draw a new 7, so that's very nice. Panharmonicon doubles our triggers onto the battlefield. Might Stone, Weak Stone. And then we have our lands here. So I will be getting Urza as well, the new Urza that melds with this. So if you've never seen this card, these cards that kind of have this symbol from Brothers War, you'll notice that they actually have text on the backside rather than the MTG text. And this card actually basically forms one card that goes on top. And this particular Planeswalker, if you can, have them both on the battlefield and pay 7, they meld. And then you can activate this particular Planeswalker's abilities twice each turn rather than once. It's +2. Is it artifact, instance, and sorcery spells you cost cost 2 less to cast, you gain 2 life. This +1 is draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Its 0 is create 2 1/1 color soldier artifact creature tokens. Its -3 is exile target non-land permanent. And its 10 is artifacts and planeswalkers you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Destroy all non-land permanents? My God. Yikes. It's crazy, bro. This -10 is crazy. So you just go like, +2, +1 and protect it and then just destroy everything that it's not lands. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of ways you can play with Urza. I mean, all of it seems really good. The exile, particular non-land permanent by your choice, seems good. The Mightstone Leastone is cool already. You can draw cards off of it. You can do like -5 on things. This is really cool. I'm very excited for this. Bragooo seems really cool. Really gonna focus in on the, the strong enter the battlefield triggers and kind of enabling them. Yeah, I think we're kind of on the right track. I did have Gandalf in my possession, and that kind of like might be sufficient. I am like having Elish Norn on my mind because I had that on my digital platform. I don't have another copy in my possession, so we can go for a Gandalf first and see how Gandalf goes in terms of our enter the battlefield triggers, and maybe we'll like kind of cut some of these other kind of enchantments out and maybe just focus more on artifacts. That's a possibility, really, but I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It could be just Elish Norn instead of Gandalf, but I feel like there's so much artifact synergy that we could just go for at least try out a Gandalf in there, and see how it goes. So, that's about it. Oh, and there's Urza Saga there. Very good. All right, well, thank you for joining me, and I appreciate all the views that you guys have been giving me. It's been very pleasant to kind of come back to these videos and see that people are still watching them. Hopefully I will be able to upload this video for you to watch. Thanks.